Hi, I'm Cindy Harrison. I'm here today with my co-host, Melissa Reyes. I am a decorative painter. I've been a decorative painter for over 20 years. I have been teaching at conventions around the U.S., and I have been published in magazines in the U.S. and Asia. And today I really want to share with you how to use texture in your backgrounds of your paintings. But before we get into that, let my co-host introduce herself.
Hi, I'm Melissa Reyes, and I am a mandala artist from Southern California, and I go by Ms. Meliz on social media. And I am really happy to be here. I'm learning. This is all new to me. I have a lot of questions, and I'm going to be making this project alongside with Cindy as she's teaching me. I'm clueless. So forgive me if I ask some questions, but that's, I think, why I'm here. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. And we realize that we're all learning how to use this program. So whatever you have, don't leave, just watch. And if you have questions, let us know. We don't, it's not that formal, but so enjoy yourself and welcome to Paint with Heart.
Thank you, Melissa.
You're awesome.
Okay, so I'm going to turn the camera over onto my hands, if I can do that. Let's see. Which one is that? These?
Flowers.
There we go. Okay. So this, I started with a wooden box that I painted white. And then you're going to sand it so it's not so rough. Again, I did it on a box, which I will demo on a card. You have two kinds of cards, or you can make up your own. These are from Ranger, specialty artists, stamping trading cards. You can use them with ink sprays and powders. They have a more glossy finish to them. These artist trading cards are from Strathmore, and they're made out of Bristol paper. So it says vellum surface. They're not as shiny or glossy in texture. They're actually a little bit more firm.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Is that Louise?
I think so.
Oh.
Hi, Louise.
Hi.
How you doing today?
Good.
Good. You gonna do some texture with us, or you just gonna watch and hang out?
I'm going to watch today.
Okay. So we have two types of ATC cards. Again, you can make your own out of old manila folders or cardstock. And I'm going to show you how to do 3 different kind of textures on them. First off, I'm going to start with, let's do some texture sand paste.
I have a question, Cindy. Can I use these playing cards?
Yes, that's what I did these on, just playing cards.
Yeah.
Make sure you put some gesso or white paint and some sealer on here. And as you see this, if you can see it, it did bleed through. The color bled through a little bit. But you can still use those. That's a nice surface to paint on. Okay. So on the texture sand one, you can take a little bit out using your palette knife.
Yeah, add something to it. Well, you know what? You can add the duck sauce right now to yours. Mine is already get the. I'm done.
Is that Louise?
I think, yeah, that's Louise, right? Louise, you have someone in your room?
Not bad.
Okay. So I took a little bit of my texture paste out. If you'd like, you can actually add paint to it. I'm just going to pick any color. Separate that. So you can color your sand texture paste.
Hi, Barb. Welcome.
Welcome to, hey, hi Barb. So I took some of this texture sand paste and I mixed it with some green paint to make a gritty texture here. In the meantime, I'm going to take some plain paste.
Do you have to stir that up? I guess you have to stir it up.
If you mix it with paint, yes.
Oh, I see.
So this one here, if you have a stencil of, you can put a stencil on and smooth this over your stencil, but I am going to make a pot, a plant pot, just using my palette knife. And it'll be a crude one, but I want it to give the effect of terracotta.
The bottom is kind of like the grass or the ground.
Yeah.
And how much paint do you add? Just a tiny drop?
I didn't add a lot. So I don't know, can you see my pot? If I put it on an angle.
No, I can't really see it.
Okay. Yeah, the camera has a hard time white on white.
Oh, this is so much fun. I've got my green. Unfortunately, my heart is sick.
Okay. So if I did this, I'm going to do it with paint on the over here. So what I did was I put the texture paste this way and I put it down like this with my palette knife. And I made a plant pot. Okay. Then I took my palette knife and I cut a line right here and separated the two.
Wow.
So that was all I did with the white on white. Now you have to put that aside and let that dry. If you want to add some grassy things, you can draw these up or take your brush. This is an old brush. And we can even pull some things out of here. I know it looks silly right now, but we're going to fix that up. Once that's dry, and who's chuckling?
Me, Melissa, I am chuckling because I'm trying to follow along, but I didn't.
That's okay. I'll give you a second to catch up. I'm going to go grab some orange paint for my terracotta pot.
Okay. I'm laughing because it is it's really fun to watch and try to do this and not have any idea what I'm doing. And but you know, I enjoy doing this so much, and then when I come back and follow along and watch it the second time, and I can really watch step by step what Cindy's doing, I'm able to create it. But it's still fun to try to do it as she's doing like the experiment. But
Finally.
Hi Barb, how are you?
Can you hear me okay?
Oh yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I've got gear outside and inside.
Well, it's good to see you. You look really nice. I love your hair.
Thank you.
There you are.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is my terracotta pot that I did and let dry earlier. I didn't mix any paint with it. So now I'm going to paint over it.
Boy, this is awesome to be able to see it so large.
Yeah, isn't that great? Okay, so we want to make your spotlight again, I think. Oh, you are.
So, see, it's like sandpaper. It's hard to tell because, like I said, this camera.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's great. Look at that.
I'm going to use an old brush because it will it'd be really rough on the hairs.
So, what is the color that you're using?
I'm actually using a color called terracotta.
Awesome. And that's the Deco Art.
Yeah. Oh, that's the wrong one. Silly me.
Okay,
Terracotta.
I submitted my application to be a blogger for Deco Art.
Cool.
And I was at Joann's last night, and I noticed the media mixed for media paint, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's different, and that so I'm interested to see what the difference is between the acrylic paint and the media paint. Just a question in the chat.
So.
Oh no, you're not constructive. You're all learning how to do this stuff. You got the chat open now, so if anybody wants to write messages, you can write.
You can paint around this.
If you're watching my screen where I'm working at the bottom, I'm just about 2 or 3 steps behind. So you actually paint the sandy terracotta pot first, and then you paint around the background.
Well, I'm kind of doing it backwards, but.
So either way, it doesn't matter really.
No, because I wanted to put the texture paste on first without any color behind it. One day we'll do a class on how color reacts when it's on different colored backgrounds. It does change the color you're working with. Okay, when that's dry, and I'll get the blow dryer and try and hasten this a little bit. Okay. You can feel the sandpaper grittiness to it. You can go and take, with any color, you can add white to lighten and black to darken. If I mix some of the white in with some of the terracotta, it makes a lighter value. Now, if you just gently rub over the top of this like a dry brush. Wipe some of that off. You will get, see that dry brush look? I'm going to do that. If you cut it in half, I'm going to go right of center and add some of this.
Oh my god. So you're actually adding some texture to your texture.
Yep. Isn't that cool?
Yeah. Very cool. And that, you added white to the terracotta, or is that just white?
I add white to the terracotta to make a lighter value. Wipe off your brush on your paper towel and then scratch it across the surface. Wish the camera would focus better, but
Oh, it looks beautiful. Can you tilt it to an angle? We can see the three-dimensional left little bit. Wow. Not very thick, the sand.
no, the stencil was thin. It was a thin stencil that I made.
You use the stencil to make that pot instead of drawing it.
Yeah. Now this, by the way, because it's moist, it's going to buckle your card. Once it dries, it will flatten it out again. So how you doing, Melissa? Let's go spotlight what you're doing.
Oh my god. Okay, so I took my playing card and painted 3 of them white, and they're drying. And then while you were putting the stand on, I just couldn't resist and tried to,
Smooth it. Yeah, smooth it out a little bit more so that it'll dry faster.
Yeah, it was really wet. It's you really have a lot of extra cards to experiment. Is all I'm gonna say if this is your first time. Because it's awkward. It's different. And so then I started adding some colors to my to the sand that I had started.
Cool.
And I'm mixing it so that I can get some different green in there. I added some more sand stuff I'm doing here and just kind of mixing it up. I put way too much paint.
It happens.
Yeah. First I put not enough paint, so that's how it came out so light here. So now added some glass to play around with that idea. That was a good suggestion. And now I added some more sand stuff. And I like it, and it's a good consistency. I just don't really like the color, but I think it'll look pretty on here. So, I don't know. I'll see how it goes. So I am I'm following along and getting stuff made, but I am so impressed with the pot that you made, and I'm looking forward to trying a bunch of times when we get it right. Just like that, because it's just gorgeous. I can't wait to see. Are you gonna put flowers in there?
I am.
Awesome.
Okay.
Spotlight off of me now. That's all I've got.
Okay. So now I'm going to take some burnt sienna and I'm going to add a little shadow, wipe off the excess, and tuck it under here. If this doesn't show up, we can add some other darker color. I want to go down the side. By wiping your paint off on your palette, on your paper towel, by wiping your paint off on the paper towel, you're just hitting the tops where the sand is in your texture. By when you load your brush,
Mhm.
by wiping it off on the paper towel, the paint left on the brush only hits the top of the sand texture.
Ah, okay. And you're not diluting the sand texture, and you're not oversaturating it. You're just getting the color on.
There you go. You see that?
It's all the magic is in that detail, and that you can really give that 3D effect highlight and depth. Love it.
If you want to punch up your highlight, wipe off, and add just a little bit of white. Ta-da!
Oh wow, look at that. Hold on, I want to, yeah, I was going to take a screenshot of that or a Snapchat. Look at that. Wow, isn't that amazing? Oh, God.
Be cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I like that a lot.
So I don't know if I did an Alt-4, is that?
I got a screenshot, if that helps. I need to
Oh, you
talk
got
to
it?
girls about this
Okay.
offline. I mean, after you're done.
Okay.
Okay,
So that's that one for right now.
so that's that one. Uh-oh. So yeah, we can do something else. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I think there might be something we can do with her camera and focusing too, the one where she's actually doing the demonstrating. So
This, I know sometimes when it's white on white, the camera has a hard time to adjust to that.
Are you using your Logitech camera for your...
Yeah.
is it on manual or on automatic
Probably on
focus?
automatic.
Yeah, you may have to switch to manual for that and putting it, and create a focal point.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
But it's looking good, girl.
Well, we appreciate your wisdom and thank you for pointing that out, because that's what, the kind of feedback that we want. Any kind of feedback. But, I'm so glad that you're here. Thank you.
I'm glad I could make it. I almost, I had phone calls coming in and stuff I had to take care of. Wow.
All right. Well, Cindy, as you get started for the next step, I am going to move my phone for a minute, okay?
Bling.
I love this magical sound. Hi, Louise.
Okie dokie. How you doing, Melissa? Yeah, she's talking on Snapchat.
Did she forget you?
No, I think she was recording on Snapchat.
I muted myself because I'm doing a Snapchat.
Right. See? I know, Melissa.
And so, yeah, that's why I left the room with the one camera, just to kind of do some social media and check on people who said that they were going to come and they're missing it. So I want to find out where they are. And you go right ahead and get started on that one. That's all.
Okay. Tissue paper. Tissue paper textured background. A lot of people just take their tissue paper and create a background, and then they do their design on top so that a plain tissue paper is their background. I'm going to be a little different and put design on my tissue paper first and then adhere it to my surface. I have some rubber stamps that I can use, and I am going to use Stays On ink because I know when I put my acrylic paint on it, it won't bleed or run. I already used this one, so I'm not going to use that one now. I'm going to take and put that on my tissue paper. And then I'll use this one. And I'm going to put that next to it for right now, not on top of it, because then all those black lines will show through. I like cleaning off my rubber stamps with Hampton Art Stamp Cleaner. And this is just a felt pad. Okay, cover that up. I scrunch it up to help it give it more texture. But I'm going to tear it out. Come over to our new ATC card. And figure out how our design is going to work on here. Know that when you're working with white tissue paper, anything in the background is going to show through. So you want to make sure that your design doesn't come through too boldly. Now, if you take this one and put it underneath, your plant will grow right out of the pot. That'll be pretty cool. for tissue paper, I would use a decoupage napkin formula. And your old scruffy brush. I'm going to put decoupage down on my card and then decoupage over it. And you want the wrinkles to be evident. If you can, not really, it's not coming through the camera, but it will once we put some paint on there. So that's on the top. If we take our scissors, and the reason I'm doing this because I do want a distinct edge here. Take our other ATC card. And put some decoupage on that. And put it right into the plant pot. Trim off the excess. You can use an X-Acto knife too if you want. We'll let that dry. They will buckle a little bit like that, but when you dry it, it'll dry out and straighten out. So when that's dry, it'll look like this. You can see the texture there a little bit. I'm going to take a light value green, in this case wasabi. And I'm going to base coat around the flower. You see the lines starting to show up, the texture. Hello.
The quality is amazing.
Thank you, Barb.
I mean, I love this platform for this particular application.
Right.
It is the best, I think.
I was amazed that after searching all the different platforms, that Blab was so ahead of itself. That I love Blab for so many reasons, and it was hard to find the same features and accessibility, or whatever you want to call it, that Blab had. But I think Zoom is doing very well for us.
You know, and for free. All Blab for a year for free. And all the things we're able to do. It's, you know,
Right.
As it is, Cindy had to subscribe to Zoom in order to have a video like this with all the features for more than 40 minutes. So, you know, we needed it to be for more than 40 minutes, so we can't do it for free. So now we need sponsors.
Yeah. Which,
Well, but it's not for 20. Well, I was looking at the $20 a month option. But for $15 a month, I mean, you are in business.
Don't you think that sound will hurt Yoda? I'm going to cover it with a flag.
Excuse me.
is that you?
But
It was Barb. Okay. How you doing, Melissa?
I'm so sorry. One of my team members was trying to chat with me from the outside. He's worried about Yoda getting sunburned.
dog's name is Yoda.
Yeah, so do you want me to just, well, if I stay in the room, I guess I'm on screen, but I need to walk away and go take care of Yoda real quick.
Yes, go do that.
So I'll shut the
Sure.
mic off here.
Sure, no worries.
Okay, thank you. All right.
So how you doing, Melissa?
How am I doing? I'm doing great. I went and did a couple snaps, and then I also did a live, Facebook Live, and I went and I checked Cindy Harrison, and Susan, who had come in earlier, had made a comment there and had said that she accidentally got locked out and she would try to come back. So I encouraged her to come back. And that's it. So sorry I was away. I was here and away at the same time. And watching you and looking at that is beautiful.
So did we fix Sharon's or Susan's locked out issue?
I don't know. By the time I had commented, she wasn't locked out. She just accidentally closed it, and so please come back. So.
Oh, okay. I'm going to let this dry, but you can see when you put even one coat of paint on it, one color, because those wrinkles are there with the tissue paper, that you can see all the texture.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I'm going to have to go back and watch this part again. So you painted the white tissue that you made on.
So this is a white car. I painted the white tissue green, but this was the new one I'm working on. This one might not have as many wrinkles in it. And then I stuck the other half in the plant pot.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool. Yeah, that is so cool. I wasn't able to.
This might be dry enough.
I wasn't able to find white, but I found yellow and blue.
Yellow and blue tissue paper?
Uh-huh. Well, I mean, I'm going to try it just so I can learn the process. These are just practice ones anyway. So you're going to pick it up, right? And then they can pass it on to the card?
Yep, using the napkin formula.
Oh.
Because it's formulated for thinner paper.
I really regret missing the first, I guess, few minutes of this about the cards themselves.
Oh,
I had no success finding the supplies yesterday, And so, but when I see when you're turning it up, I'm seeing a playing card underneath.
Yeah, that's this one.
Okay.
So basically, you can make them out of cardstock if you want. The ones I have, I picked up actually.
That's what I was looking for. That's where I was at yesterday. I couldn't believe it.
They're in the fine arts section.
Mm-hmm.
Like on one of the end caps.
Wow.
But that, Melissa and I were just talking about that. I went out today to look for a medium that she has that I don't. And she had gone, what, to Joann's, you said?
Yeah, we went to Joann's last night, and I couldn't find one that you had listed. So instead, I got Crackle paint. And
yeah, she couldn't find this one.
well, I got that one.
Oh, it was this one.
The point is, we couldn't find one, so I got this one. So you went to go find this one, and you couldn't find it.
my Michaels and Joann Fabrics do not have any of these.
Wow.
So what I found, though, is that they are available online. So what we're thinking of doing, I don't know if we wanted to talk about that, but.
Yeah, I would think on going on your show development that you would want to have a page of with an online resource so they could pick it up.
Precisely.
And that's what I want to talk to you offline after your.
Right. Well, that's why I said I'm going to be posting the supplies on my website.
Mm-hmm.
And I was also going to start offering the supplies like on a monthly subscription or something like that, where you can buy and have delivered to your home in advance every week's supply kit.
Which will be super nice, especially when we start including some of the products that we're making, like the mandala stencils.
Right.
They aren't available in stores yet.
I think it's too wet still.
So, in case you're wondering, Barb, one of the things that we're doing, is okay if I talk about mandalas now? Were you working on that?
You know what? I can't hear you real well, Melissa. I can hear Cindy awesome, but when it comes to your microphone,
it's a little muffled.
All right.
Yeah, it's muffled. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
I'm sorry.
She doesn't.
I'm glad you told me. I didn't want to keep talking and you not hear me.
Now I can hear you.
All right. I was talking low before because long story. But anyhow, as long as you can hear me now. I was asking Cindy if it's okay if I talk about the mandala stencil.
Yes.
Okay. So I think that having a package where you can order the supplies ahead of time is going to be really nice when we have our stencils available. And I don't know if Barb knew that we're already in production, and Cindy has ordered the stencils of my drawings. Barb, take a look at that. Oh, no, she didn't do that. So anyhow, she's not looking up.
She's not looking at Barbara?
Oh, yeah.
So this is a stencil of a drawing that I did, and I've done 100 mandalas, and they're all very different from each other. We're choosing some that are good for this process, and Cindy is having them produced, and we're going to include them in the packets and have them available to make different projects with them. So it's kind of exciting. So we definitely have like an online, or Cindy has an online purchase option, and we're developing that.
Good.
So it'll be neat.
Totally.
Okay. So how are we doing?
Oh, I am so impressed with your beautiful art part.
Did you give up?
No, it's just I have things drying. Oh, thank you. I wanted to see how it was. I don't laugh. So
Okay, so
these are still drying, so I just stuck it on here just to play with how wet it had to be and how much. Anyway.
so this is a good example. You see how the yellow appears after you put it on a blue card. Put some yellow on the over the white card.
Yeah, these are still drying. So, and they're not sealed.
That's okay. You're gonna, when you decoupage the yellow over it, the decoupage serves as a sealer.
All right.
So if you even just place it over just to see what it looks like, you'll see how the yellow is much more bright or clearer, brighter.
Yeah, I just absolutely couldn't wait to start sticking stuff on something, so that's why I went and did that.
Yeah, scrunch it up a little bit, yeah. So when you're doing adding texture to your artwork, you don't have to put it over the whole surface. You can put it just on parts of the surface and tear off pieces and just have pieces over little areas. I actually have a friend who had paid a home decorator to go in and tissue paper the bottom half of her dining room wall.
Whoa.
The entire dining room. So this is kind of a neat texture, and it's very versatile. It can be used for many different things.
What other kinds of things can you think of that you could use this texture on? I think I'm picturing, it kind of gives the effect of, what is that called? Paper mache.
Yeah.
So like for a gift card or a book cover.
So did it tear for you there? Is that
no,
what I'm
you
seeing?
said you can put pieces on, and I thought, oh, I have time to tear it off. It's not stuck yet. It didn't work. So I'm going to layer it.
Yeah, exactly. Don't be stingy with the decoupage.
This is so much fun that you can see what I'm doing and give advice. And anybody who wants to show us what you're doing when you're following along, and, we're happy to do that. I'm really looking forward to a lot of the people who are interested to start joining us and working alongside us.
The only problem with this is your beautiful nails get full of gunk.
Oh, that's funny because I had this call. I started taking this one, and I thought, I'm not going to redo them until after the show.
Right.
Even though I like my hand to look nice on the demonstration, I also know better. And it's my birthday coming up soon, so I'm having a party tomorrow.
Ooh, happy birthday.
I wish you guys could be here.
I know, me too. You can Snapchat me.
Oh my gosh. I don't know. I'll Snapchat you, or I'll bring you. I don't think I want the world to see my birthday party. Not that the world's watching, but I have about a couple hundred people who watch my Snap.
Well, I brought everyone to my anniversary day in Boston yesterday.
My husband just went by, and he's going like this. He walked by. Oh, and here's my son. No one can see you if you stay over there. So yeah, we watched your anniversary in Boston, which was great, and I know that you did that a lot at my encouragement because I wanted to see what you were doing. But
well, we had never. Go ahead.
You did. I wanted to see kissing shots and selfies of the two of you, but you didn't get that.
He's not into that stuff, but I did give you a few. The swan boats. I had never done a swan boats in the public gardens, so it was really neat to go over there and do a swan boat ride with them. Originally, and I'm talking 35 years ago, they had individual swan boats, your own little paddle boat, so two of you could get into a swan boat and paddle around the water. I guess they got rid of all those because now you have this group swan boat. But the guy behind it is paddling. He is He is zoom, 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 zoom. A lot of exercise for those dudes.
I thought you were talking about a duck boat. Have you ever been on a duck boat tour?
Yes, I did the duck boats a few years back with a group of us, and that was interesting. It was fun.
Okay, so this is looking good. Now,
Isn't it cool?
what do I do about the sides? Do I let it dry and cut it off, or do I hold it over
Wait,
the side?
wait till it completely dries, and then you can trim them off.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to set this aside to dry.
But see the difference between that one and having it on the blue?
Yes, ma'am. I knew that it was going to be down on the blue, but like I said, I just couldn't wait to just start playing around with it. So since I did pour out a little too much decoupage, I'm just going to
That's okay.
glue this on.
It'll dry.
All right, my dear, what's the next step?
Well, now that I have one layer dry.
How did you get that stamp on there? Is that a transfer?
The same way we did this one.
You stamped straight onto it?
No.
I love the way you answer with the same way as, I'm like, I don't know.
So I rubber stamped the flower design onto tissue paper. Then I decoupaged the tissue paper onto the card.
Thank you.
Just like I did this one.
Okay. So that tissue paper was not crinkled. It's just the white. Is that crinkled?
You can't tell white on white. Let's see. If I start painting this, maybe it's dry enough.
Oh, do you want paper towels? I haven't. Yeah. I also have up in my room and yeah, hold on. Sorry.
There's some line showing. I really wanted more of a blue, but that's okay. This one here, if we want it to bring up a little bit more of that texture, take a darker value, and I'm going to dilute it a little bit with water and wipe it over. This is what we call a wash, when you take the paint and dilute it with water. And then you wipe it over your area. Always take most of the moisture off on the paper towel. Oops, I'm sorry, I was off camera. If it's too dark, you can take more water and wash over it with some more water. Okay, now I'm going to take my paper towel and wipe off the excess paint. And see the dark lines show up even better. I'm going to take a little bit of, I'm using Poodle skirt pink. What?
I'm sorry, I've got a question.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you. And it's kind of obvious, but so for this, do I have to let that tissue dry completely before I put my transfer tissue over it? Or can I just stick it on now?
Do you have to let the Tissue paper dry completely before you put what over it?
The picture, the other piece of tissue that has the stamp.
No, you should be able to put it right on.
Okay, cool.
This is going to cover up some of the ink, but that's okay. It's almost like a faux plaster look, you know? Tissue paper.
I love it. I'm sorry, honey.
Okay.
I got the whitest piece of paper that I could find. It still had a little color on it, but it looks clean on here. Wow. It would be awesome to be finding it. Yeah, here we have Steve and Barb still. That's awesome. I was thinking to come in. Tammy wanted to come in today, but she couldn't after all. And I know Wynn was going to try, but she also maybe not able to today. We are definitely building a list of interested people.
Yeah, and I know we're on a holiday weekend, so it's very hard to get people who are busy getting ready for the barbecues. I usually have a big gathering for 4th of July, and we watch the Boston Pops on the Esplanade on our TV, but
You know,
not this year.
we go on 4th of July to our friends who live in the penthouse of a high-rise in downtown Los Angeles.
Oh, cool.
And for the last couple of years, I've streamed it, and last year I streamed it on Meerkat and got so many followers. The fun thing about the fireworks on 4th of July, for over 24 hours, I think, you could really watch on live stream people's celebration, you know, and on New Year's Eve as well. In fact, the New Year's Eve you could around the world. But,
right.
You know, but on 4th of July, it's really fun to see the fireworks from different places. And my stream from a high-rise, you know, penthouse apartment, you can see all the fireworks across Los Angeles, the whole city, and they're tiny because they're going on all around from far distance. But it's clear, it's amazing. It's really fun to watch. So hopefully you'll get to see that. I don't know if we're going to do it this year, but that's what we've been doing for about 5 years now. So, go ahead.
I like not having to deal with the crowds.
Yeah, that's what's nice about going to their house too. Is you sit on their patio or their balcony. You can go up to the rooftop and see all 360 right from the middle of downtown Los Angeles. All the different fireworks. And some from very close.
So there's more than one place in LA that has fireworks?
From that vantage point, you can see all the different locations for miles and miles and miles and miles. I mean, you can see the ocean, you can see the hills, and there are throughout the night multiple fireworks shows.
Wow.
Multiple universities are doing it, parks, different special events, private events, and from that vantage point. But like I said, they're tiny in the distance, and it goes on for hours.
Cool.
I know, it's really different. And anyway, I like that. But I'm interested in your Boston Pops party.
Well, they They do put it on the television, televised. It used to be on like an A&E channel, but now I guess it's down to local.
I actually think we watched Boston Pops one year, because what my friends do is they have a party in their apartment, and you can, and they have music going on or different things, you know, and then we just hang out and eat and watch all these fireworks.
They have, guess they had Neil Diamond one year. Come on.
Did you hear, speaking of Neil Diamond, did you hear Wynn talking about Neil Diamond on her live Facebook the other day?
I don't think so.
Okay, you should subscribe or, you know, set the notifications to let you know when Kelly Charles is on, because she has really great, you know, I really like supporting her, let's put it that way. And she's been trying to do more on Facebook Live.
Uh-huh.
She, it turns out that her dad, I guess, worked for Neil Diamond for many years, and so she's trying to get him as a guest for her show. And he is an advocate of people with disabilities. So, you know, it's kind of neat that she's doing that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm painting around my design with a sky color because I wanted something different than grass.
I'm going to have to leave, girls. It's really been great. Thank you for sharing.
We'll talk.
We'll catch up later.
Okie dokie, Barb. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you for sharing it too.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay. So this isn't really, you know. Hello. This doesn't look like much now, but it can look like something.
It doesn't look much to you, but it does look like something. And I know you will make that amazing.
Okay. So
the stamp that you use the stamp to make those twiggy things and put that on tissue and put it on?
Yep. The design for the flower and the greenery is on tissue paper.
So, and so far you haven't really done anything to that. You're kind of just going around doing the details around.
I'm just putting some, yeah.
Did you paint blue over the top of it?
I went around my leafy elements.
Oh, that's a good shot. Okay, that's good. So you didn't go over it, but you went very close.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have here, can you look at my screen?
Yeah, hold on.
So I have here a white card that I painted white.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Joker card, which is kind of funny because I want to put this stamp. This is all the way. So I had to cut it out from something that had a pattern, but I like it, and it says cheers. And so I'm just going to decoupage that on.
Yes.
Draw around it, right, and put some other fun things around.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So that's what I'm going to do now. So I've kind of caught up with you. Just mine is just a little very different, but that's the beauty of learning these processes. That if you can change it to my face.
Okay.
So really, one of the things that I love most about Paint with Heart is coming and hanging out with Cindy, who's an expert art teacher, and she shows these beautiful things that she can make, that she teaches the technique. And then I can take that and use it in an application that suits what I like, whatever my whimsy is. But I'm learning and I keep practicing and I can get up to that speed. But what I make using the exact same materials at the exact same time, it looks totally different. Of course, I could copy her, and that is what, you know, if you have a pattern design that you want to make, you can do it exactly step by step by following her and getting the instructions from her website. But you could also just have fun learning like I do. So that's my PSA.
There you go.
Ooh, I got coffee from my kid.
Ooh.
Uh,
What I'm gonna do now is take the green. Ooh, I see what I did. And make these leaves green. And this is a medium to light value. And I see up here I wanted a sky. There we go. So this is a way of using your rubber stamps for something more than what we originally bought them for. So don't throw anything out, right?
Isn't that the truth? Don't throw anything out. Oh, look at that! I didn't realize that you were going to do that. You're so fancy. But they're two separate trading cards.
Yeah.
They could be like best friend cards, and you can give one to me and keep the other one, and we'll be besties.
We could. And maybe I will.
That's okay. I might send you my Tears card.
I was going to say, do you want the bottom or the top?
I can't hear you because you're in my earbud.
Okay. But that's kind of cute.
It sure is. It sure is cute. So now I get to decide how I want to keep this. Uh-oh, kitty. Meanwhile, my stand inhibitor used earlier is volume. No, it's not.
Trying to find the center of the camera. Okay. Let's make this flower pink.
Go back to you. Yeah, enough window sills for everybody, kitty.
Some grass, greener here. Give my line a brush. This grass needs to be mowed, huh?
Oh, well, it looks like my backyard.
I used to have one of those water things out in my porch where I had the water, that grass, it grows in the water. You know what I'm saying? I had a half a whiskey barrel.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a little water spouty thing.
Oh, yeah.
And I did put fish in there, but I think the wildlife found it because I found them dead on the deck.
Oh, they probably jumped. They jump. They do.
Well, we had raccoon and stuff, so who knows?
Raccoon would have eaten the fish whole. He would have left it for you.
Well, one of them was gone. The other one was there. It's not good. Not good anyway. So I had a bunch of water foliage in there growing out of there. It was pretty cool. Okay, so.
Like a bog? No.
No.
I am having fun with sand on this part. always fun.
I'm going to deepen right down here. Soften that out a little bit. Okay.
That looks so good. Okay, well, so it's just, oh, Louise is still here. I was going to say it's just us, but that looks good. I want to take a picture of it with my phone. So is it okay if I just engage again? Okay, hold on. I'll look at that. And you can still talk, you don't have to be all quiet and stuff.
So this is how to make 2 ATC cards into one picture, and they can be best friend ATC cards.
I just Snapchatted that, but you're in my ear, so I can't hear you. That's okay.
Now let's get to some decorative painting techniques. With my flat brush, I'm going to side load. Pick up, in this case, darker green, and it's on half your brush. See that?
Mm-hmm.
Load it in one way, tap it, always keeping the paint part of the brush on the paint puddle. And I do that. Come over to your design, and I'm tapping it down because my design is so small. I'm just going to tap it on there like that. See?
Okay, I'm going to ask a dumb question.
Not a dumb question.
What's the point of doing the side load in that way? If you're doing it so small, why not just use a tiny little brush?
Because it will show where the paint is the darkest and it gradates to lighter.
Okay.
See that?
Yeah, so it gives a natural.
So you have a dark, distinct line here, and then it goes softer, softer, softer. It's the only problem with the camera and white. Okay, so touch the dark part of the paint brush in the corner. Walk it out a little bit. Some people, they can do this with Copic markers, the ones who use it for scrapbooking.
Mm-hmm. A lot of people who do mandala drawing and coloring. Okay, so let's do it. Come on. And then my cat just in another cat.
I keep my cats out. I think my cat set off the alarm the other day. Don't know how, but he did.
Well, in the studio, so, occupied. So I set up a new kitchen today, which I love. It's nice and bright here. Outside, but not just also so interested in what I'm doing. To have somebody take them to the bedroom or something. Actually, they're not interested in what I'm doing. They are just acting like I'm in their way.
There you go. That's nice and clear. It doesn't look as pretty up close.
To me, it looks very pretty on and on my phone particularly, it's just, that is very pretty. Let me see it all done.
Okay.
My terracotta pot. Done.
I'm going to repeat the silo technique, but I'm going to do it on the flower. So it looks like the flower is three-dimensional.
Cool.
So I'm not sure about this camera.
You know, like Barb said, it looks really great on that big screen like that. And then quality is so good with film that even, you know, still better than what we had before. Because it's only considered that.
See that?
Oh my God. I looked down for a moment, I looked back up, and there's a beautiful flower has bloomed there. Look at that. And I can definitely see the shading that that technique causes. That's beautiful. Okay, can you come over and see one online?
Sure.
Okay. I have to keep trying so that I can learn how to do that. I'm going to try it.
Oops. I'm going to do this with white and punch up the highlight. So, for people who are watching and don't always know how to pull an element forward and push another element back, with shading and the side load, you decide which petal is in front and which one is in the back. Whichever one you decide is in the back is the one that's going to get the color, the darker value. So I'm going to put this one in front, which means I'm going to go to my outline and paint the petal that is in the background. And see what happens when you have that texture. If I can get that to zoom in properly.
Yeah, that looks good.
It bleeds.
Oh. And that gives it.
But that's what happens with the tissue paper background. So just wash it down a little bit. Okay, now on the other side of that petal, we decided that was in front. Well, now it looks like this one might go over that. So I'm going to go this way. And if this petal's folding because of the line, and this petal has some folding going on too. So we want the fold of the flower to pop forward. So we're going to paint on the back petal. Same on this side. This has a fold in the petal. I start on one side, start on the other, and go around. And if you go into the cracks. Just wipe it off with a clear water brush. Let's put this one in front. This one has a little bit of a fold. So does that help figure out how to create dimension or depth, I should say, how to create depth in your painting, how to decide where to put the paint?
Absolutely, absolutely. That's just so helpful.
So if you want a petal to pop forward, you put the paint on the back petal and follow the outline of the full petal.
Mm. That's so cool.
And I'm going to put a little bit right here. And soften that. Now I'm putting it because when that flips back, then there'll be a little darkness showing there. Let's grab some white. And now we're going to highlight the petals that are forward. If you can see that.
So Cindy, I'm just checking. This is really amazing because I can stay on Zoom on my phone and go to Facebook at the same time without leaving Zoom.
Me too.
I didn't know I could do that. So it's as opposed to Blab where you have to go out.
Right.
Anyhow, I was just looking and we had a comment there that says, do I need to go to Zoom to watch the whole demo? So, and that's from Kate Glenn. I think she may be somebody you know. Do you know Kate Glenn? Regardless, so I told her that she's yeah, you do. You should come on.
Well, we'll say hello to Kate. And hello to Louise. It's still with us.
Louise, do you have any questions, Louise? How is it looking? You can type in your question if you don't want to be on screen or use your audio. Just by clicking on the chat.
Type in the chat, yeah.
Well, this is my first time. I'm just watching right now.
Oh,
is it okay so far? I mean, have any suggestions for me?
Not really.
So, have you ever used tissue paper on your backgrounds?
No.
As you see, it was pretty easy just to put it on there. I did the stamping first because if you wait and put the tissue on and then go to stamp, all these valleys, hills and valleys that you have created by the tissue paper will not give you a clear inked design. So if you want to do the old-fashioned way with the graphite paper and stuff, you'll be fine. It'll be a little ridgy, but it'll be fine. But with rubber stamps, it wouldn't. It would be hit or miss. So that's why I put it on first. It's just easier that way. Have you ever used any of the sand paste?
Yes.
And what did you do with it?
I just put it on wood and then put a design on and painted the design, and it just gave it that rough texture.
That's cool. So you covered the whole surface with the sand paste?
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, neat. So it's a little different painting on it, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. I liked it because with me, it gave it the terracotta, but I did have a piece that I scraped it on the edges of the canvas. So that kind of gave it a little, like a mixed media canvas, and I just kind of scraped some on the edge. If you take some like this and just put some color in it. So it's not over the whole thing, it's just over some of it. And that was kind of neat too.
Well, I've enjoyed this, but I have to leave now. So have a good day.
Thank you, Louise, for coming. I hope to see you next week, and have a wonderful 4th of July.
You also.
The next one I'm going to show is going to be the paintable texture paste. I'm going to use it in a way that is different than what you would normally do. Or I can actually show you 2 ways of using it. One way was take your stencil, and I'm going to put my stencil on. If you have a palette knife or an old credit card, pick up some of your texture medium and you put it over the stencil like so. You lift it off, you'll have some raised hearts, see them?
So cool.
That's one way. Oops. Get that off there. And then the other way is to put it on extra thick. Again, hard to see white on white, but this is going to be extra thick. And this takes longer to dry. About, I don't know, 1/8 of an inch thickness here. Then I'm going to take a rubber foam stamp. I'm not sure where to find these anymore, but if you have some in your stock and you always wondered what to do with them, sometimes you can find these in the kitty section with the other foamies. But I'm going to dip it into some water, some clean water, make it very wet. Then I'm going to take it and I'm going to press it into that thickness of my texture paste. And then lift it out. See it? When that dries, now as you see, it's bending.
That looks so cool, Cindy.
But when it dries, it'll look like that.
This is the sand paint or the other stuff that I don't have?
It's the other stuff you don't have. But
it's awesome.
wash my stencil out. Okay. Once it's dry, we can paint over that. I'm just using whatever color I have on my palette right now.
More today.
And all of this is paintable texture stuff.
What did you say?
All of it's paintable texture medium.
And that is, yeah, that's what it's called. It's available online. For those of you who are looking for it, might not find it in your store. Michaels and Joanne, at Joanne, they do have it on their website. I'm going to order some because it's so cool. I can't wait to try that.
Tissue paper offers another texture.
So, but with tissue paper, you can't do that molding effect.
No.
But could you with the sand? Could I try it?
You can. Yeah, try it.
And the other one I have is the crackle paste. I'm thinking of trying that too. Once we have these cards, and particularly your cards that you, what are you going to do with them?
I'm going to hand them out at the next convention.
Oh, and is that going to be your calling card, or are you doing it for class? Can we talk about that?
I'm going to be doing a demonstration at the Heart of Ohio Toll Convention in August 8th through 13th. And I'm going to show you how to do different textures, more than just these. And those people who are attending the demo, it's a free demo, and those who are attending are going to get like 3 cards with 3 different textures on them with the list of what I used for a medium, and I will show you how I did it. It's, and obviously, as you see here, it's been pretty easy. You just do this and put it on, and it works.
So, you know, for artists who are, or for, you know, anybody who wants to make these as a calling card or as an instruction card, it's the possibilities. Oh, look at that. The possibilities are endless. And
Right.
so artist trading cards are a lot of fun to make, to give away, and you can put your contact information or instructions on the other side of the card. So you're giving them an example and a beautiful gift. And so I'm really excited that Cindy is using her techniques on the cards, because it's something that I had suggested, and it's just coming out really neat.
Yeah, if you hit over the tops with you can start to see the design that you've imprinted.
Wow.
It will show up eventually.
That's looking really good.
So the other thing I was looking for was my sanding disc, because you can take your sanding that's shaky and sand off the top. And see how it starts to show up?
Mm-hmm. Oh, so hold it till it focuses. Oh, look at that.
It's like a plaster.
Yeah.
You know what? Now that I think about it, you can use plaster. You can use joint compound.
You know, I don't have it here. I have it at my office, but I have plaster of Paris. Is that anything close to it?
I haven't used that.
Don't use that.
No, I haven't used it myself, so I don't know.
Yeah, if you mix it with water.
Do you have a fan brush?
I do have my crappy fan brush.
I wonder if I... Oops.
Sprinkling stuff.
This has a little bit of a rubber texture to it, so.
I really want to get that stuff. And I'm just thinking to myself that I didn't go looking for it last week, because if I ordered it, I'd have it then. So, you know, for future shows, we did that. Apply this out early and offer use on the website or offer that people can get done and make this complex. That's my plan.
It's all good.
It is wonderful.
I'm going to deepen around the design. Okay. Want to deepen within the design, you can.
Also look for the stamps, like the one that Cindy used for this particular card, and I couldn't find the exact thing, but they did have at Joann's some stamps or some they're like raised wood. They're basically stamps, but you could use them to apply, they're appliques, to apply onto furniture, so that there are these raised wood designs on the furniture. But they come in really cute designs, and I think that without taking the applique off, you can use that as a stamp. And I almost bought it. I wish I had at least taken it. So, but it's not exactly the same thing that you use for this.
Like these?
Yeah. No, not exactly. They were on a black background, and they wwere white, and they looked like
Oh.
the stamp, and they were the person at that could be used too, right? But the person at the at Joanne showed it to me, and she said, because I showed her your picture.
Uh-huh.
It looked just like the picture, but when we really looked at it, it had an adhesive, for it to applique on something else. And
Oh.
left it on and used it as a stamp. But I wasn't sure if it would work, so I thought I might get back there this morning, but that didn't happen.
Well, here's another way to use that texture paste. I took an old, I have my price sticker on it. This is a metal ornament, but you can do, again, on any surface you want. And I slathered it with some of this texture paste, like I did on this card. Let me do it over here on the edge of this one. So you put it relatively thick, I mean, half an eighth of an inch. You don't have to smooth it out. And then you take an old finding, if you have old jewelry that is broken or you lost one of the earrings, things like that. I have buttons. I have a bunch of these buttons, decorative buttons. So I'm going to take one of them. I have a rose. Well, I'm going to put boots on there. I have this angel one. It's not showing up. Yeah. Okay. So maybe I'll stick the angel one. It has a loop on the back, and typically I would go snip it with my wire cutters. But what I can do is just add a little bit more texture paste here. And you're going to press this right into that. And that becomes adhered. When it dries, it'll be adhered to it.
That's awesome. Oh, so pretty. Oh, it's so cute, that little button. So, while you were doing that, I took the crackle paste that I was able to find.
Mm-hmm.
And I just spread it out on my practice card that I had played with the sand paste earlier. And then I stuck on a couple of string, what do you call these little flowers, thin flowers.
Ooh.
And it's drying, and it's supposed to dry crackly, so that should be interesting to see. So, I just
Cool.
card and I'm just kind of practicing, see what happens the first time I use that. So that paste is called Crackle paste. It's by Digital Art Media, and it's white. So I didn't need to put it on those parts that I put the white paint on in the background. So I just left it on, and it's very thick.
But it should dry clear, right?
So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Here?
I think it will dry clear, and it will create more texture because now you'll have a bunch of cracks. So when you go back over it with paint, if you do a glaze over top like I did this one, it will, the cracks will become more evident.
Awesome. Yeah, the cracks would be visible. The paint, the background would be visible through cracks. I really want to.
Right, and you're going to have white. Your white background.
No, I have on this one. There's no white. It's on the card that was.
Oh, it's directly on the card.
Yeah,
Oh, that'll be interesting then. Cool.
I didn't want to put it on the white background, so yeah, it's pretty neat. It says, if desired, apply a base coat, which would be visible through the crack.
Mm-hmm.
Or for added, interesting. That's a very basic one. Thickness application doesn't want to see it. Okay, so crackle paste that creates eggshell cracking pattern as described. Exciting! I love this stuff.
So if you use rubber stamps and you lose your black lines, you can go take some lamp black paint and a fine liner, and you can put those back in. And you can choose which ones go over and which ones go under. Redefine your lines. That's pretty cool. And use some water.
You want to change back to a spotlight so that I can.
Oh. Okay. How's that?
Yeah.
This also helps you to highlight some of the ones that were hiding in the grass.
Sorry. They're hiding in the grass.
It was.
Mm-hmm. What are you doing right now? You're adding detail on the grass, on the line?
I'm just adding the black lines back to give it, oops, to give it more detail. And I can even do it around my plant pot.
Plant pot?
Plant pot.
Spent a little time in Boston this weekend too.
Like a dropple.
Plant pot. I like that. That's a new one. You got your dropple?
My dropple.
Plant pot.
Doesn't everybody have dropples?
Yeah, we all do. Everybody has a dropple. At least once. So you'll have to go back and binge watch the early episodes of Paint with Heart if you want to know what a dropple is. And you know what? I will draw a mandala specifically for the person who finds out what a dropple is and sends me a text or somehow contacts me and tells me. You have to go back and look.
Comment on the Facebook page. What is a dropple?
That's a good contact. Speaking of contacts and promos and stuff, I have been brainstorming on some ideas for our official launch party and Twitter party.
Woohoo.
And inspired by our friend Catherine Costa, who did that all-day Facebook thing for her launch of the book, I was thinking it would be fun and engaging to do something like a progressive Facebook live feed, or in like a rally. So where I might, we start with you giving a Facebook thing, and then you would hand it off to me, and then I would do a live Facebook, and then we could hand it off to other friends to endorse and talk about Paint with Heart. And then just kind of for an hour or two, go around for 5 or 10 minutes per person, and everybody would be talking about it on their Facebook.
Ooh.
What do you think?
Sounds interesting.
So, Barb could talk about it for a little while, and our other guests, I think, Tammy, and Ross, or whoever wants to do it, and we can have it scheduled out and type it up. And I think that would be a lot of fun to get people to see a little bit of what we do on their Facebook pages and have all that video of endorsements. So I think it would be very valuable. And then even if we got some people who are new to live streaming, they might be more comfortable, trying it out on their Facebook Live.
Right.
And then coming here and being on screen.
That sounds exciting.
That's really cute.
When are we doing that?
What?
When are we going to do that?
Sometime this month.
Did that help the focus of the camera at all?
It looks good. What do you mean? What did you do?
I lifted the camera up so it wasn't so close.
Well, show all 3 of the applications you did and tell us about one or about each to get to 4.
Okay.
And then we'll wrap it up. It's exactly 2 hours.
Cool. Okay. Let's get rid of my junk.
So well here.
Okay. So what I did here, I started with some plain white tissue paper and some ink and a set of rubber stamps. So you rubber stamp using Stays-On ink or a permanent ink onto your tissue paper. You take your tissue paper, crumble it up, tear out your design, and then decoupage it onto your card using the napkin formula. Let that dry, and then when you paint on it, you'll start getting some of the texture. Do a glaze of a darker or a lighter color, and it will show those texture lines up more prominent. After that's done, you can paint your card. And that's what I did on these 2 as well. This doesn't show up so much. I didn't crumple it as much and leave the texture. This one you can see some of the texture a little better. And I didn't glaze over it with a darker value. The other one is our clay pot. And for that, I used the Deco Art Media Texture Sand Paste. I created a stencil for this one out of some acetate, but I used a palette knife and just scratched that one on. You can either mix it with the paint or you can put it on clear and paint it later. To add the depth, the highlights and the shading, all I had to do was load my flat brush and wipe off the excess paint on a paper towel and then kind of scratch over the sand, and it created that texture look because the sand is raised. So you're hitting all the tops of the sand granules.
Turn that one as an angle a little bit so you can see the texture more and let it focus.
Oh.
There. Oh, look at that.
Like sandpaper.
Yeah.
The next one was paintable texture paste. And that I used in 3 different ways. First, I used a stencil and drag some, I don't know if you can see it. Hold on, I'll get it right there. See the hearts? They might be dry enough if I hit them with.
I saw the hearts, but yeah.
Yeah, they're there.
Subtle.
Very subtle, but when you hit them with paint, they'll show up.
Absolutely.
So you put the stencil down, you take your palette knife and scrape over it with paint, paintable texture paste, and they will show up. You lift it off and then you're done. So they went right there like that. This, you put the texture paste on extra thick, about 1/8 of an inch, and you press in a deep foamy sponge stamp. And that's how you get that. That is going to have to dry at least overnight because it is very thick, if you can tell.
Yes, look at that.
Very thick. And that's when you get this. And I painted over it with a couple colors, and then I sanded off the ridges. Now it definitely has a more rubber effect to it, so it doesn't sand off as easily as if you were to use joint compound or some kind of more chalky based paste. But that gives you that, I don't know if the camera's going to focus on that. Oh, there you go. Ridges. And the third way I use that is you build up your paste and you stick something in it. I stuck a button in it and let that dry, and it becomes an adhesive. After it's dry, of course, you can go around it and paint it into the background. I incorporated some side loading for the highlights and shades on my leaves and my flowers. I gave you an example of how to pull a petal forward by pushing another one back. Sometimes that's a question people ask. How, what side of the line do you put the paint on? Put it on the side that goes behind the back petal. And you put your highlight on the front petal.
That's awesome.
I think that covers it.
That's fantastic. I am Snapchatting too, so we'll do a sign off. So do you want to put your face on the spotlight? Sign off, but don't end the recording because we'll do another sign off after I come back. Okay, go.
So.
That's not going to happen. Okay. All right. Ready?
Thank you very much for joining me here in the Zoom room for another episode of Paint with Heart. I hope to see you again next week. And I hope that you have a wonderful 4th of July. And thank you to my co-host and to everyone who's watching on replay. Melissa?
So thank you so much. You want to put me on spotlight?
Oops, hold on.
Thank you so much for joining us on Paint with Heart. I had a blast. It was a lot of fun. I made some little cards that I was practicing on, and learning these processes of texture on artist trading cards with my friend Cindy. And I might be able to get this one to look, I'll put it down here, a little bit like hers. So, you know, I'm learning, and that's what it's all about. So it's very exciting, and drawing still, it's not as, you know, I think I could do it though. I really do. And anyhow, thank you for being here. And if this is your first time in the Zoom room or the first time watching Paint with Heart, please let us know what you think. And if you have any suggestions or questions, we'll be happy to talk with you, because we're really happy that you're here. Have a great day, and happy 4th of July.
Okay, I stopped the video. Or did I?
Yeah, it's blinking.
It says recording.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we weren't recording the whole time. No, just kidding. Oh, it says oh.
That was me accident. That was an accident.
Stay recording.
So it says cancel the spotlight video. Okay.